So I recently watched the Wild Robot movie over a week ago when it came out, and among all the other people posting about it and talking about it, I kind of wanted to say what I thought about the movie as a musician and visual artist and story writer myself, and I thought I'd throw in a little speed drawing, a few sketches of Roz while I did so. So I'll be talking about the things I thought were good, the things I liked, the things I think needed a little more work, things I wish were in the movie, and all stuff like that, alongside my little Wild Robot drawings there. So yeah, let's get into it. The things that I really liked. One thing I never heard anyone say is that it wasn't beautiful. Like, visually, it's such a stunning movie. The painted style with the island, the animation, and like the character designs. Roz, so as someone who's a fan of the books, I far prefer her movie design to her book design. I think it's so great and unique, so expressive, and it really adds to her character. And speaking of expressive, another thing I did like better than the book was how expressive and natural Roz was. The books go for a more realistic approach. Like, she's a robot, so it does make sense that like she's not gonna display her emotions as much, and she's like a helper robot. She's not gonna like rant about her problems to anybody, not very often. But I think there are some cases where realism can be sacrificed for something greater, and I think this is one of those cases where just seeing her being more natural during the migration scene that I'm drawing here, her running after Bright Bill, during like the completely movie original scene where she got the other Rosm robot working and asked it for help, and kind of like vented her frustrations to it. I thought those were great scenes and things we could not have got in the book, and I do like how expressive she is there. It was also such a sweet movie. Like, the I love yous, I know they were cheesy. I don't really care. I think it's so sweet. Yeah. As for things that I think could have used a little more work, the pacing. And I say this about pretty much every story I critique these days, but specifically for the Wild Robot, like the lack of quiet scenes. There were some of those near the beginning, but they were all before like Bright Bill's personality was like completely established, so you never really got to know Bright Bill before conflict set in. Like, one thing I noticed was the scene, like that water swimming lesson scene is where you first like really get Bright Bill's personality, and that is like right when the conflict sets in. You don't have time to like really bond with him or get to know him, and that's something I wish happened. Like, what I'm drawing right now is actually a scene I do wish they included from the books, and that is when Roz and Bright Bill go down to see the broken robots together, and they talk a bit about life and death and all those stuff. And I think it would have been great to see more of their dynamic as mother and son, like outside of when really intense things are happening or when conflict is happening. I think that would have been great. Also, like, they didn't actually say like the animals were not gonna eat each other anymore, but it was almost implied, and it didn't really make sense to me. Like, what are they gonna eat? They are, like, it is okay to like sacrifice realism, I said, but they like established very well that they were wild animals, and I don't think they need to like sacrifice that for the story. So that's something I would have changed. Yeah. But for my overall impression of the film, I admit, like, after I watched it, I was a little disappointed, because I really liked the books and I was waiting for it all summer. And I didn't have a great mindset going into it, but I think if I watched it again, I would like it a lot better. It's really hard for me to rate, because on one hand, I didn't enjoy it, and I did notice a lot of things that could have been improved, but on the other hand, like, I think if I watched it again, I would have a much higher opinion of it. And looking back now, thinking about the movie, it was a good movie. It was very sweet, very heartfelt. I just really wish it had time to like slow down more, so we can see like this is a movie. Like the book is so much about motherhood, and the movie like definitely is about that too. But there weren't enough scenes, I feel, about motherhood, and I do really wish we got to see more of that and got to know the characters a little better. Just cut out a bit of the action and just give the audience more moments to breathe. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Wild Robot. I want to give it like a 7.5 out of 10 because 7 feels too low and 8 feels a little too high. I do think I would definitely need to watch it again. But yeah, I really love the visuals, the music, the character designs, the voice acting. I really loved Roz's expressions and emotions. I do wish the character arcs were done better. I wish the pacing was done better. That we would have had more moments of peace and quiet. But yeah, I do think it's worth watching, and I definitely want to go watch it again when I can, when it's out of theaters. And I do hope you enjoyed my little